Good morning, YouTube, and I didn't plan on starting this video just yet, but I did post my complete stock fairing for sale, so I've got a buyer that's interested. So today I'm actually going to go ahead and remove the stock fairing, and we're just going to get started on this conversion. So a few things. I had to go and buy some Scotch tape. That way I can mark the wires that I'm keeping, like for the gauges, for example. I'm gonna get rid of the stock radio and speakers and go with the whole new system once I've get everything on the bike and get the fairing cut out for the speakers and all that stuff. So I don't know if I want to go with like a double DIN or single DIN or just like run one of those Rockford Fosgate's Bluetooth system. So still thinking about what I want to do with that, but for today we're just gonna go ahead and take this thing off. And see, this guy's serious about buying it. Says he want to be here by 9 o'clock, so it's like 7 o'clock right now here. So I'm up early and about to get started on this thing. So I already started the other day. I got the outer fairing off, and now we have this. This is where the speakers are located. So I'm gonna tape off this wire right here for the speaker. I'm gonna consider this the left side. So left side speaker here, right side speaker there. Then the gauge wires here and here. Go ahead and take this thing off. Oop. And then this is the headlight wire, and that's all I'm pretty much gonna need. Hopefully I don't have to cut these and reroute them, but I guess we'll just find out as soon as we get all this thing taken apart. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera down. I'm gonna label what I need to label, and then I'll catch you guys back up on it. All right, so I pretty much got whatever I need to label, especially like these wires right here for the gauges. You got your gas, your speedo RPM gauge, your voltage, and speakers. I don't know why I marked those off, but I did anyways. The rest of these wires here are for the infotainment center, and then of course this is your headlight wire. So now to take this off, I gotta go ahead and take this cover off. I've got to remove the side markers off, and then this cover here, which is held by 2 bolts, and then this thing should be up and ready to get taken off. So of course I gotta disconnect all this first, and then we'll go ahead and remove the rest of the stuff that we are not gonna need. And yeah, that's about it. So let me go and get this thing taken off, and then catch you guys back up on what we've got done so far. Alright guys, so after about 20 minutes of taking the front fairing off, I've pretty much got everything almost ready to go. Still gotta figure out what I want to do with some of these wires, if I'm gonna take them off the bike completely or just wrap them up neatly and tuck them into the fairing. I just opened the bracket that it came with for the front fairing, which looks like this. So now I'm just gonna probably mount the bracket on, and then see how I can route these wires. I want to do this thing nice, neat, and clean as possible. I'll flip the camera on and show you the progress that I've gotten so far with it, that I've gotten done so far with, and where we are currently at this moment. So let me go ahead and show you that. All right, so here we are. This is the wires for the controls up front. This is for the infotainment center. This is the antenna and other wires here. I think these are the main plugs right here. This white one right here and this black one right here. So I got the harness out right here with everything I'm gonna need: the gauge, the headlight, all the gauges, headlight, turn signals, which was located here. Took it off. So this is ready to go. I'm keeping these stock gauges for now, and I'll probably upgrade later on, but I'm gonna go ahead and take those ones off in a bit. And these are the rest of the parts here. I had to remove this thing. This is one of the cowls up front in order for me to get to the wire harness. I got that taken off. Our custom plate that we made for the triple tree cover, and then my turn signals. Overall, the process so far right now has been fairly easy, but now it's just the wiring part, and which is always the difficult part whenever you're working on a bike or a car. So this is our current state right now. So I'm just gonna mount the bracket on, see how it looks, and figure out how much room I gotta play with as far as with the wires, and then go from there. I am running the Cross 2X pullback plate, which I'm gonna get all this cleaned up here because when I had the stock fairing on, it was just hard for me to reach and clean up. So I'm gonna get this thing nice and cleaned up, and then we'll go with the rest of the conversion, I guess you say, and try to get the mount on, and then mount this thing on, and then we'll see how it looks. So let's just get right to it. Alright guys, so I got the mount on. It isn't tying down, but it looks of it, I may need some washers, as you can see there. May need some more washers to get a tight fit. And also, there's this bracket here that holds the wire harness that runs through up to the front. Well, I want to try to keep this thing as OEM as possible as I can. So I want to save this bracket. So that way all the wires are in a secure spot and it's not moving around as I'm riding. So what I'm thinking about doing, there's a little piece here that blocks the bottom screw of the bracket. This little hole here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Dremel some of this plastic off. That way I can get this to sit up in here with this bolt here. Almost same thing as the other side, but just a better idea of what I'm talking about. As you can see, this bracket here, this little plastic bracket for the harness is usually where this is. It has one of these little, where's it at? Here we go. No, that's not it. Usually it has one of these on there that holds that plastic bracket onto the frame for the harness. So this is what I'm trying to do. As you can tell, if I was to tighten this down, that this harness here would still be sturdy. I'm gonna have to tighten up the bottom first and then tighten up this top screw. On this side should be good. On this side, however, I need to cut a little bit of it off, to Dremel it, and so that way I will have more access to this bolt as well to tighten down the lower part of the bracket. Once we get that situated, get rid of this plate, then we can go ahead and mount the front fairing and see how it sits and figure out what adjustments do we need to make for it to sit properly and correctly. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm actually gonna see if one of the local hardware stores are open, and I head over and pick up some washers like these. Probably gonna pick up 10 of them just to be safe and save the trip. And then we should be able to get this thing mounted on, and then I can, figure out how I want to run these wires into the fairing. Tuck it in nice and clean. I probably got some zip ties too while I'm out. And that should be it, man. That should do it, hopefully. Probably gonna need to get a triple tree cover. I know they make some for the Road King, so just to have it look cleaner up front right here. Because if you guys know, the FXRT has a lot of room right here in this center area in between the bars and the fairing. So just want to clean up and make it look neat. So that's where we are now. I'm gonna head over to the hardware store, try to find some washers, and get this mount secured. Get everything mounted on correctly and to the best of my ability. So let's go ahead and head over to the hardware store and get those washers so we can get this thing secured and mounted. So I haven't left to the hardware store. I was just so curious to see how this thing would look on my Street Glide with this front fairing. So I got the bracket somewhat tight, but not where I want it to be. I still need to go get the washers for it. But then after that, I went ahead and just threw on the front fairing just to see how it'll look. And I gotta say, this thing looks pretty dope. At least to me it does. But yeah, here it goes. Front fairing's on. The windscreen is not screwed on. I just put it on just to see how it'll look with the windscreen. And man, I think this thing looks great. Only if I got it painted gloss black, but I want to change the color. So this is what I was talking about. All the room that's in between the bars and the fairing. There's a lot of room, and I got a whole mess down there. So got to figure out what I'm going to do with that mess and how I could route these wires and how I could, you know, clean it up to make it look better. But that's why I kind of wanted to go ahead and put the fairing on, so I have a better idea how to route the wires, and if I should just take out those wires that are for the infotainment center, since I'm probably not going to run an HD radio anymore. The harness down here, that's the wires for the stock HD radio. So in reality, I'm probably not even going to need it, but that means that just has more work for me to do. That means I gotta take the gas tank off, I gotta take the seat off, I gotta run those wires back, delete those. I gotta see if there's something I may have to do for those. So I gotta do some more research, but for now, this is how it's looking. And I'm pretty pleased with it. Like, I got the lowers, so I haven't put the lowers on. I know I'm not gonna be able to run these crash bars, so I'm gonna have to take these crash bars off, debunking crash bars. I had a little idea with it, or a plan. What I was gonna do was I was gonna mock up the lowers, stand the bike up level, use one of those like laser levelers, and like with the red dot on there, and then drill like a 2-inch hole around it, so that way I'd be able to just slide the lowers into the crash bar and then mount it on to the mounting bracket. But it's gonna be a lot of fab work, and so I'm still planning this whole thing out and trying to figure out how exactly I want to go. But man, this thing looks great. I think it looks good. The fairing it looks huge when it's not on the bike, but then when it's on the bike, it looks like it fits perfectly. So I'm very pleased with that. Man, give me a thumbs up if you guys like it so far. I think it's pretty dope. I'm probably gonna I'm gonna change the mirrors. I've got some levers coming in. They were supposed to be a long time ago, but I'm still waiting on them. So these are stock levers that we went ahead and trimmed and shaved down, made them into shorties, but I have some coming in, so don't worry about those. And then, yeah, these mirrors are probably gonna have to go, but I've got a situation down there. I'm gonna have to figure this thing out. I know these are the main harnesses I'm gonna need, so, I mean, if I could just get just these 2 wires and get away with everything else, that'd be great. Probably reroute brake wires. I'm gonna change those out soon too. Get some steel braided lines for the brake lines. There's a lot of work that's gonna be done done to this bike, and it's only time and patience, and then this thing will probably be where I want it to be. But yeah. This is how she's sitting right now.